There's a dog dish in the room, and it looked like somebody had slept in my bed when I was gone, you know?
That's ridiculous.
So I don't know what was going on while I was gone, but there was another dog that must have been in the room while I was gone.
Ms. Kane, do you have a dog?
Yeah, it's a small little black dog.
And your dog stays in your house?
Yes, it stays in the house. It doesn't even go in that room at all.
Mr. Krieger, when you would go on trips for work, I'm assuming, did you ask
Nobody went in their room. Nobody cared.
Ma'am,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you ask the defendant to watch your dog?
No, my dog always came with me. I never left my dog there.
In your complaint, Mr. Krieger, you do state that on December 25th, you found your door unlocked and wide open, and you asked the defendant about it, and she admitted to going into your room.
Yes, she did. She said, it's my house and I can do whatever I want. That was the response that I got.
Ms. Kane, you never went into the room?
Not like that. He's lying on everything.
Have you ever gone into his room without his permission?
He told me he wanted me to watch his dog one afternoon, and I opened up the door, and there was no dog in there. I walked out.
Mr. Krieger, you described the defendant on a number of occasions where she was sort of hostile towards you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about those
Okay,
moments.
so when I returned on the 25th, I had gone in to use the bathroom, and when I came out, I had told Diane that I purchased a sailboat. She said, well, tell me about your boat. Come sit down. She said that her family does some sailing, and we had a little discussion about that for about maybe a 10-minute discussion, okay? I returned to my room, and I took a nap. And I was awoken at about 2 o'clock in the morning to her screaming profanities and screaming, that bastard tenant of mine stole my remote control.
This is at 2 a.m.?
This is at 2 a.m., and I could hear her clearly screaming. And this is going on for about an hour. I could hear there was somebody else in the apartment, too. She yells, oh, I found your remote control. And then they're all giggling and laughing about it, you know? And I figured that's the last straw. That was it, okay?
Ms. Kane, did you ever have this conversation with the plaintiff about a sailboat that he bought?
Yeah, he mentioned he did, but none of my family are sailboaters. We have powerboats. But I was interested. He was very excited about it, and I did want to hear about it because I could see that he had joy. You know, he was excited that he bought the sailboat. And that was about the end of that conversation, you know?
But then you also say that he was in some way acting perverted towards you.
He did that from day one when he said about how I would feel about naked men running around my house.
You're the one that's really sort of,
because I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. The guy's there with his dog. That's who I am. I'm a nice person. If somebody's going to be there, of course, I'm going to ask them if they need an extra blanket or sheet. So, like, I'm trying to brush that under the rug, you know, forget that he had said that.
I have one more question. Why did you lock the door to the kitchen for him to get in at night? You said that around midnight.
Because, like, after midnight, I'd like my doors locked. So, you know what I mean? Is there something wrong with it? He had a key to get in there.
Was it an interior-facing door or an exterior?
Exterior.
I see. It wasn't direct from his room to yours.
No.
It was an exterior-facing door that you locked at night. Okay.
It was unlocked all day long.
I understand.
We good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you both very much.
You.
We're going to excuse the parties while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Mr. Krieger, Ms. Kane, we have deliberated and reached a unanimous verdict. This was clearly not a match made in roommate heaven, and you two found that out very quickly. And fortunately, we're not together for very long after it was clear that the relationship had deteriorated. The one thing you two did agree on was that there was a 14-day notice to vacate requirement that you had decided on together. And you were there for 14 days and then gave a 14-day notice, which amounts to about a month. And we just didn't find persuasive evidence that the premises was uninhabitable, which is what would be required, something very egregious, in order to get a refund of the rent. So we are not going to give you back any portion of the rent that you spent for that first month, which you had already paid. With respect to the security deposit, Ms. Kane, as a landlord moving forward, there are very strict requirements under the law about withholding the security deposit, and we don't find that you complied with those requirements.
Okay.
So for that reason, we are finding in your favor, Mr. Krieger, for the return of the security deposit only. We do believe retaining the cleaning fee was reasonable under the circumstances. So for that reason, our judgment is in favor of you, Mr. Krieger, in the amount of $200. And that is the verdict of the court. Thank you both.